Welcome back to the Beach Ball pregame show. I'm Joey Miller. Alongside me, Jesse Cook. We're getting ready for the middle game between the Long Beach Coast and the Oakland Ballers. Thanks for tuning in. Well, so far things are going pretty well for the Coast in the second half. 7-0 is the record right now. That is also, add a few more on there. 1, 2, 3, 4 more. 11 in a row. They're going to go and try and tie their season high for most wins consecutively with 12 tonight if they can get one over and win the series against Oakland. Right now the offense is looking great, albeit they're not scoring as much as we've known them to score. They haven't scored over 10 runs in the past 3 games, but what's been more important is that they score early. They've scored in the past couple of games in the bottom of the first, and that has led to great things.
Absolutely. Long Beach has made its pitchers more comfortable by giving them an early lead. And one of the biggest factors in that is just consistent offense. In the past, let's say 28 games since June 19th, I've used that as a benchmark during the season. The first game against Yuba Sutter at home. First 27 games of the year, Long Beach is stranding more than 10 runners on base per game. Now that's dropped down since that point to just 8.9.
You know, right now the goal is to get runners on, get runners around, and that is what Oakland has not done. A 7-0 shutout starts this series. 4-0. There was another shutout on Sunday. Right now the pitchers are cooking, but as is this middle of the lineup. You got Emilio Corona, unfortunately Matthew Bardowell, he's currently on the day-to-day. But then you have other power hitters. Cuba Bess, who's had 4 home runs and now 15 RBI in the second half in these first 7 games. Last night sent a missile for his 17th on the season. He is creeping up the charts right now.
Well, he's doing better than creeping. He's rocketing back up where he was to start the year. He began with 8 home runs across the first 3 or so weeks. He was leading the league. Then he went silent for a while, only 1 home run between the end of that first homestand and the start of July. However, the month of July, month number 7, well, he's hit 7 home runs in that time and has just sped his way back into the top of the league with these home runs. He has the most in July.
Yeah, and now 78 RBI. He's right around getting ready to pass the 80 RBI mark. Last year he had about 94, I believe it was, with Yuba Sutter. So he's about to potentially eclipse that in his second Pioneer League season. And speaking of Cuba Bess, we had our sideline reporter Nina Corral speak with him after the game. Take a listen.
Tonight I'm here with our player of the game, Cuba Bess. A great game tonight. Tonight you drove in 4 RBIs with a 3-run homer and an RBI single. What has been working with you at the plate?
I just want to be on time for the fastball, see something over the middle of the plate, and get my swing off and hit the ball hard.
Tonight was Easton Jones' professional start and Robert Pitt's debut. What can the team expect from them?
Some good defense, and they can swing it a little bit, and the bat will come around. So once they get their feet wet a little bit, they're going to be good.
Eddie Pelk has an on-base streak of all 55 games. How crucial is his bat in this lineup?
It's very crucial. The leadoff hitter sets the tone, and he's the guy for that. We know when he's rolling, the rest of us are going to roll as well.
Thank you, Cuba.
Thank you.
Cuba Bess, what a guy. Plenty of experience. He's one of the more veteran presences.
Presences.
Presences. Yeah, all right, let's try again. 3, 2, 1. Cuba Bess, what a guy, and brings so much valuable experience into this clubhouse. Typically the Pioneer League is on the younger side, capping off an experience level at 3 years. He is the franchise player. He has played in minor league baseball affiliate with the Rockies and the Red Sox, and I think he is fit into this culture so well, bringing what he knows in his prior experience in affiliate ball to these new guys like Emilio Corona in his very first year, who's been at this little cat and mouse game with him for the home run leader. And then you got Jacob Jablonski, who's been in this particular league for 3 years. He's also providing some great experience for him as well.
Well, Bess is the unofficial captain of this team in a lot of respects. The way he commands players on the field as a catcher or first baseman is very important, but players are also looking to him in the clubhouse for guidance for things related to baseball, and they're also seeing him as a friend for things not related to baseball. So it's good to see how this team is gelled specifically around Cuba Bess. But you do have to talk about the other Pioneer League veterans like Jacob Jablonski and a lot of the other guys who spent time with Troy Percival's team back when they were all up in Idaho Falls, like Anthony Mata or Steven Ordorica, or the Yuba Sutter players like Brett Wozniak. There is a wealth of talent on this team that has also honed its skills as leaders off the field.
And this friendship that's in this clubhouse is the reason why they are 44-11 to this point in the season, heading into the second half. But that friendship also happens on the other side of the coin, the defensive side. The pitching has been phenomenal these past 4 games. On Friday night, we saw Nick Bautista tie a season high with 9 strikeouts in an 11-1 victory. On Saturday night, Nathan Hemmerling goes 6 innings, strikes out 10 for the highest amount of strikeouts by a single pitcher in Long Beach Coast history. Matthew O'Brien then follows that up on Sunday, 7 1/3 innings, 0 runs on the board, zipping through that lineup, perfect through his first 13 batters. And then that brings us to Jack Martin last night. 5 innings of work, also scoreless. Things really working well for him in his 10th start.
Well, Martin has developed something that a lot of the other pitchers have started with as well, i.e. Cole Percival, who's going today, which is throwing hittable pitches that force weak contact. We saw Garrett Vandeventer make an art of this against Oakland near the beginning of July with the team's first ever complete game. Martin leaned more into that. Cole Percival last time out, 3 strikeouts in his longest start of the year. Jack Martin has found his way into that niche as well. Another big thing is that these guys are not dancing outside the strike zone. And yes, they are attacking and forcing hittable pitches, but they are not doing anything in 3-ball counts that would be dangerous. These last 3 games have been the best stretch for accuracy for Long Beach of the season. 7 walks over 3 contests is by far the best that this team has done.
And Jack Martin only had 1 walk last night in his 5 innings pitched, but that walk was intentional. So, you know, it looks bad on the line because it's not his season low, but you know, he realizes that he got the win, and that is more important. 3 straight wins for Jack Martin. I chatted with him just a moment ago. Take a listen. Hey guys, I'm here with last night's starter, Jack Martin, carrying on the win streak to 11. His 10th start, 3 wins in a row. You're now 6-0 leading the team. You know, you got to maybe have some bragging rights maybe over your other starters now, just with the fact that you're perfect 6-0. How did that feel?
I felt good. I mean, every time I go out there, I just try to put the team in a position to win at the end of the day, and I was able to execute that, so it feels pretty good.
I mean, it's pretty easy to put your team in a position to win when you give up no runs through 5 innings. Another shutout for the Long Beach Coast. Now 20 straight innings for the Long Beach Coast, not allowing a single run to either the Freebirds nor the Ballers. Let's talk about the last 4 starts, including yourself. You have Nick Bautista on Friday, 9 strikeouts, gets the win. You have Nathan Hemmerling getting 10 strikeouts on Saturday, and he gets, unfortunately, the no decision on that game. Sunday, Matthew O'Brien, 7 1/3 innings, a shutout. Then you getting the 7-0 shutout. You know, what is going well right now for the pitching staff that is led to these past 4 starts?
I just think we're taking care of business. I think we have the best staff in the league, and all those lines that you just went over, I think, is just the results coming to fruition, and yeah, we're nasty.
Yeah. And your pitches looked nasty last night as well. I was noticing that slider really looked well last night. Would you say that was kind of your dominant pitch last night that was working well for you?
Well, I would say so. I was setting it up pretty good. My fastball was playing good off of it, but yeah, it was my game plan. I mean, starting against these guys, the Ballers, so many times, it's kind of like, all right, how am I going to get these guys out today? But I just kind of put that aside and just went and attacked with slider and basically everything. I just wanted to fill it up, make them try to have to beat me, and yeah, I was able to attack, execute, and it worked out good.
Yeah, you were getting ahead of counts, and I noticed another good punch-out pitch for you that was working was the fastball upstairs. What is the scouting looking like for these Oakland Ballers? Was Percival or Jerome Williams trying to tell you how to attack certain people on a 1-2 count or just a 2-strike count?
Honestly, not really. I don't really try to get too far into scouting reports and stuff like that, just because none of these guys have really. I mean, they have faced me, but I'm myself, and their numbers are against somebody else. But yeah, I just kind of remember past at bats I've had against guys. I'll read swings if I blow a fastball past somebody and it looks like they're not catching up to it. I'll take note of that for the next couple of pitches going forward. But honestly, just going out there and trusting your stuff and throwing it with conviction, that was what was kind of working for me. And just reading swings past ABs, yeah, it was working.
Well, and some of these guys you've obviously faced off against before. Some of these guys you've played with.
Yeah.
Paul Winland, you got a couple strikeouts on him last night. We were talking with Paul before the broadcast saying, did you guys ever face off? And he said maybe in some live at-bats in spring training. So, having that experience with somebody like Paul Winland, how did you approach him to get a couple of Ks on him?
I didn't face Paulie in spring training. Paulie's a super good dude. I loved him.
He's making me a liar then, huh?
Paul, I really liked Paulie when he was with us. Yeah, I mean, I hadn't faced him. I know he's got very good juice at the plate. He could take you deep anywhere here. I mean, he's shown that
He has,
here and in the Ballers uniform. So I was kind of weary of that. I don't know, I picked out a couple holes. Once I saw him swing and miss at a slider in the first at bat, I was like, all right, I'm going to go back to that pitch at some point. Second at bat, we honestly had a battle. It was a 9-pitch at bat, I think, or 10. He was making me work and think in that one, but I think I threw a changeup that he swung over top of.
I think it was high as well.
Yeah, I mean, he's a good hitter. He was a tough out, I thought. Yeah.
Hey, whatever works, right?
Yeah.
And what worked for you last night, obviously we talk about the shutout. This is your first start in 10 where you don't allow a single run. You did have one earlier on the year where you had one run. It was unearned, though. In terms of personal achievements, do you look back and say, oh, this is a great moment for me, or are you just kind of moving past it, looking forward to your next start?
A little bit of both. I think it was definitely I definitely think I needed a start like this, honestly, after a couple starts before, giving up a couple runs late in the game, after pitching well. It was nice to go 5 and not give up any runs until I was taken out. So, yeah, it's cool. I'm not trying to get too high or too low on any of my outings, but just moving forward and excited for the next one.
Yeah, I was going to say, because you were taken out with 75 pitches on the bump, 5 innings. Did you feel like you could go a little further, or was it Percival who made the cut?
It was a little bit of both. I mean, I was a little beat up, but I'll never say that I'm not good, or I always want to go back out for another one. So it was a little bit of both.
Well, you had your defense behind you. You had the 2 relievers behind you as well who got the job done. So it was great work getting the series opener. Another win for Jack Martin. You're creeping your way up the total wins column on the Pioneer League leaderboard. So, hey, just keep doing what you're doing, man.
Yep. Thank you.
Rolling back to it on our beach ball pregame report from Blair Field. Jesse Cook with you next to Joey Miller, and we're just about to get going with game 2 out of 3 between the Long Beach Coast and the Oakland Ballers. It is just a fantastic time to be a Long Beach Coast fan. 11 straight wins, one shy of the season best of 12, already having won 8 home games in a row, which is in itself a record. Joey, there are very few things that the Coast could be doing better.
There's always a silver lining, and I don't think that Troy Percival really has to say much, whether they're doing well or whether they're doing poorly, but it does go to show we are 55 games into this season, and the Long Beach Coast in their inaugural campaign have not lost more than 2 games in a row. It has been win streak, maybe a couple of losses here and there sprinkled in, but you know, an 11-game win streak is not uncommon, especially having faced off against the Yuba Sutter Freebirds, the Oakland Ballers, who are on a bit of a downhill trend since the beginning of this season, where they actually did win a couple of games. They actually won a series against these Long Beach Coasters. That was the very first time they met up, but since then they have not been able to get a handle on the new team, their new rivals to the south. And, you know, for somebody like Aaron Miles, I can only imagine what it's like to, you know, go from winning a ring in 2025 against this very same manager, against a lot of these very same players from the Idaho Falls Chuckers roster and the Yuba Sutter High Wheelers of last year, and just not knowing how to attack these guys, or maybe not having the right tools to attack these guys. I know that there's a quick turnaround for the Pioneer League in terms of, you know, having a 3-year experience gap. I think that the Oakland Ballers are a fine team. They are not the record that they show right now, which is 11 games below 500.
Well, the Oakland Ballers are 11 games below 500, like you said, but the Long Beach Coast are 33 games above. Welcome into Blair Field, just ahead of first pitch, as the Long Beach Coast seek to win their 3rd series out of 3 in the second half and extend the winning streak to a season-best 12 games, tying what they did in the 2nd and 3rd weeks of the season. Jesse Cook with you next to Joey Miller. Underneath blue skies at 80-degree Blair Field, Cole Percival earning his 3rd start of the season for Long Beach. After last time out, he went 5 innings, allowing 2 runs on 4 hits and striking out 3. Percival stands opposite Reed Butts for Oakland, who pitched just last week when Oakland was here in the LBC. Butts ended up going 3 innings, allowing 4 runs on 5 hits, striking out 4 but walking 5. Oakland's lineup starts off with Jaden Kalura, yesterday the catcher, today out in right field leading off. Isai Santos, the normal leadoff man, is in center behind him. Santos this season batting .304. Jeter Ibarra, the league leader in home runs with 21, is at first base batting 3rd. The rookie Tristan Moore batting 4th in left field. He made his professional debut yesterday. Jake Allgaier is at 3rd, batting 5th. Nick Leahy stands back in at 2nd base. He's batting 6th. Last night, he went 1 for 4, singling his last time to the plate. Cam Buford entered last night's game as a pinch hitter. Today, the DH, Buford, ended up going 0 for 2. Connor Smith is behind the dish at catcher, and Brennan O'Sullivan is back in the 9 spot, batting .328. Joey, Cole Percival has a defense behind him that committed 0 errors in yesterday's game, and it's very similar to what we saw in yesterday's 7-0 win.
And Cole Percival is a guy who can get it done on the mound, too. Sure, you have to trust your defense. That is what's led to the success of the last 4. But when Percy's sinker-slider combo is working for him, I'm sure he's going to mow down these Oakland Ballers.
And Percival stands ready to pitch to the left-handed bat of Kalura. The field behind him, left to right, Eddie Pelk in left, Emilio Corona in center, and then back to Easton Jones, who's making his debut as an outfielder. First pitch from the stretch. Fastball for a strike at the thighs. 0-1 count to Jaden Kalura. This game kicks off at 6:35 p.m. Pacific time. Percival tilts his head down, drops the glove to his knees. Now kicks up high. Misses inside. 1-1 count to Kalura. Yesterday in the 2 spot, Kalura finished 0 for 4, striking out once. Percival, wearing that wiry mustache, settles in again in the middle of the mound. Now he turns on home the 1-1. Swing and a miss ahead of the curve. 1-2 count for Percival, who walks in with a .409 earned run average. His last start came against these Ballers a week ago. And we mentioned the 5 innings pitched, 2 runs, 4 hits, 3 strikeouts. He also walked 4, a season high. His 1-2, swinging a high drive, right field straightaway. Jones tracking back, and he makes the catch, fighting the sun. Easton Jones, who has been a third baseman in both of his appearances for the Coast, this being his first week of professional baseball after ending his college career at BYU, makes that catch there. The rest of the Long Beach fielders, Dylan Lena at third, Tyler Young at short, Patrick Roche at second, Cuba Bess at first, and behind the plate, David Whittle, who caught Cole Percival during the offseason at UC Riverside. Righty pitches to lefty, Isai Santos watching the fastball for a strike low and inside. Santos, his batting average is above 300 like we mentioned earlier. Yesterday he ended up going 1 for 4. But every time he recorded an out, it either was a swing and a miss or a fly out to center. 0-1. Swipe and a miss, low and away. 0-2 count. Percival attacking the zone early. He's thrown 6 pitches, 5 of them have been hittable, 4 of them falling for strikes. Stagnant California Magnolias canvassing beyond center field, but the American flag is blown lightly out towards left. No score. Base is empty, 1 away in the top of the first inning. Percival swaying on the mound. Here he goes. And he misses low and inside on the slider. 1-2 count. Percival traded to Long Beach for a player to be named later, back on June 26th. He made his debut later that day for the first of a couple of relief appearances, both of which earned him the save. Now he sets again with a 1-2 count. Whirls on home. Swinging a high pop fly, left field. That one carrying further back. Eddie Pelk waiting a step in front of the warning track. He makes the catch. That ball just kept on carrying. It might be a light breeze out to left field, but the baseball spun with it. That brings up Jeter Ibarra. Oh boy, has he been tough to stop. Correction from earlier, 22 home runs on the season, leading the Pioneer League. His batting average across his 54 games played, only sitting out once, is up at .351. Yesterday, Ibarra began his day by reaching base on a single, then an intentional walk, but he struck out and flied out after that. He digs in on the left side. First pitch from the stretch. Slider in the dirt. 1-0 count. Ibarra is native to San Jose. Percival from down near this neck of the woods in California, in Riverside. The 27-year-old on the mound stands ready. Kicks up high. Floats the changeup upstairs for a 2-0 count. Percival shakes off a signal from Whittle, but resets with his off-season catch partner. From the stretch, the 2-0 misses over the shoelaces. 3-0 count. Long Beach attacked Ibarra yesterday, but early on here, Percival is dancing around him. The coach's son from the stretch. Fastball at the knees for a strike. Cole's dad, Troy Percival, looking on from the top step of the dugout. The Angels' all-time saves leader, managing his second team in the Pioneer League after beginning with Idaho Falls. 3-1. Swing and a miss. Ibarra tying up on the slider inside and low. Cole, when talking about what it means to play for his dad, also talked about the trust that Troy actively recruiting him, searching for a trade from the Atlantic League's Lexington Legends. Talked about how that meant a lot to him because that really built up his self-confidence. Percival in his first season out of affiliate ball, spending 5 seasons bouncing between 5 organizations. Now a full count and a chance to end the inning with the bases empty here in the opening frame. Next pitch, swing and a miss. One of the most fearsome bats in the Pioneer League, Jeter Ibarra, has been retired by way of the K. 10 to 1-2-3, top of the first inning. No score as the Coast heads to the plate with Eddie Pelk, Patrick Roche, and Cuba Bess on the Home Team Network. Bottom of the first inning on the way. Long Beach holding Oakland scoreless with a 1-2-3 top half of the frame. Jesse Cook with you next to Joey Miller here at Blair Field. Wednesday night baseball. Eddie Pelk leading off on the left side opposite the fellow southpaw. Reed Butts making his second appearance of the season at Blair Field. The Oakland starter fires. Fastball for a strike at the knees. 0-1 count. Butts, a fourth-year Pioneer Leaguer, began his tenure with the Rocky Mountain Vibes. He turns on home, swinging a chopper, second base side. Nick Leahy waiting on it, throws on to first to retire Pelk to begin the home half of the game. Eddie Pelk trying to reach base for his 56th consecutive contest in the now 56 games in Coast history. Retired his first time up. No score. Base is still empty for Patrick Roche with one away. Roche stands in on the right side, the Boston College product, batting .309 on the season, making his 45th start. And he has bounced around the infield and the outfield more than anyone else on this roster. Today, the second baseman. Butts out of the stretch. Misses inside and low on the fastball. After his one season in 2023 with the Vibes, Butts moved on to the Oakland Ballers for the next couple seasons. Started this year in the American Association with the Sioux City Explorers. 1-0. Drops at the knees for a strike, a 1-1 count. We mentioned what he did on Thursday, making his Pioneer League debut for 2026. 3 innings dealt. Turns home, Roche swings, pops it up, first base side, heading deep down the right field line, and that is foul into the corner. 1-2 count for Roche, base is empty, one away, bottom of the first inning. Butts in those 3 innings on Thursday allowed 4 runs on 5 hits with 5 walks. By contrast, the Long Beach pitching staff over the last 4 games has allowed just 9, so that's halfway there in one contest. Shrugs and deals the 1-2. Roche swings and lifts this high and deep to straightaway center field. Tracking back Isai Santos at the fence. He puts his arm up and makes the catch on the warning track. Roche driving that one close to the wall, 381 feet. But Santos, fighting the sun, wins the battle. And now Long Beach is in danger of doing exactly what Oakland did to begin the game, walking down 1-2-3. However, Cuba Bess has been arguably the most fearsome hitter in the Pioneer League in the month of July with 7 home runs, the latest of which rocketed out of the park yesterday for his 17th on the year. But from the stretch, fastball misses downstairs and away. It's a 1-0 count. Bess 2 for 3 with 4 RBIs yesterday. 1-0, down by the Sox once again, which the former Red Sox and Rockies prospect has pulled up just below his knees. Bess, who was drafted by the Rockies, chose college at Grand Canyon University, then made his way back there. 2-0, he swings and slugs this one high in the air but very shallow. Third base side of the infield, Jake Allgaier tracking it down and stumbling. He makes the catch. Sunlight playing a heavy role early on in this game, but both teams' defenses withstanding it. 1-2-3, 1-2-3, and 0-0 your score as we move on to the top of the second on the Home Team Network. Trading zeros. We move on to the top of the second inning, the Cook quiz inning here at Blair Field. Cole Percival back out on the bump, facing the rookie Tristan Moore, making his second professional start. Righty pitches to lefty, swinging a high pop fly, third base side. Dylan Lena tracking down in foul territory, the third baseman underneath, and the ball splashes down in his bright red glove. Much like that, which his pitching coach, Jerome Williams, wore during his major league career. Keep in mind that he may make an appearance in some unexpected capacity tomorrow. Just a hint at what's to come at Blair Field. Got to get out to the ballpark for it. Long Beach has won 11 straight games. The Boston Red Sox are up to 15, trying at the moment for their 16th. 32 teams in Major League history have won 16 games straight, Joey. Jake Allgaier batting on the left side. Percival shrugs, kicks up high. Fastball right down Broadway for strike one. So I'm wondering, of those 16 teams, how many and which ones went on to win the World Series? Correction, those 32 teams who won at least 16 consecutive games. Percival winds on home. Misses low and inside on the changeup. 1-1 count.
Well, immediately I can think of one that kind of ties into our visitors here. The Moneyball era Oakland, should I even say the name?
A's.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like a curse word in their mind.
1-1. Called a strike, low away, but immediately challenged by Jake Allgaier, who didn't even look up. He just tapped his head while looking down, and he was staring at the spot outside the zone where he saw the ball appear to be, and he is correct as that strike is overturned to a ball. 2-1 count for Allgaier. I don't think it's a curse to mention the A's when talking about the B's.
Well, I think they're still a little salty about it up in Oakland.
Well, once upon a time, there was almost the Oakland C's and the California Golden Seals of the WHL. 2-1, swinging a fly ball, left field. Eddie Pelk waiting for it, and he makes the catch. 2 away. Every out for Oakland so far, short of Jeter Ibarra's strikeout, has been by way of the air. Jaden Kalura lining out to right. Isai Santos popping out to left. Ibarra's strikeout. Tristan Moore's foul pop to third, and now Jake Allgaier's fly to left. Nick Leahy batting on the right side. Percival stares down at his shoes, now turns on home. Check swing. Breaking ball misses low and away. It is a 1-0 count. Yesterday, Nick Leahy started for Oakland, also at second, ending 1 for 4 with a strikeout. Percival, a heavy breath, his 1-0. Swing and a miss, high and inside on the 92-mile-per-hour fastball. 1-1 count. Leahy batting .287, making his 39th start of the season. Cole Percival just took a moment behind the mound to tie his shoelaces for the second time in this game. He's 6'5". They are a long way down from where his hands are. I bet it takes a couple tries to get it right at that height. 1-1. Fastball misses high and outside. 2-1 count. And honestly, when you're in Percival's role where, yes, it's your third start of the season, third start in a row, you still haven't made a ton of starts since 2024, his last time doing so in affiliate ball. Probably a little nervous. That pitch was challenged by David Whittle for Long Beach, challenging the ball call. And it is overturned to a strike. So it is a 1-2 count for Leahy. Percival has a chance for back-to-back 1-2-3 innings to open up his day. He kicks up high. Drops in the slider for strike 3. Well, Long Beach, coming in off of back-to-back shutouts, has not allowed a run in 22 straight innings. Cole Percival has not allowed a base runner as we move on to the bottom of the second. Long Beach trying to scratch across a base runner for the first time on the Home Team Network. Back at it at Blair Field for the bottom of the second inning. No score as Long Beach is at the plate. Reed Butt's first pitch, a fastball that misses low and outside to the right-handed Emilio Corona. 1-0 count. Jesse Cook with you with a special guest, Taylor Jennings. Fantastic American Polynesian softball player in the booth with us. 1-0, sent right back to the mound where Reed Butt stabs it. The underhands to first for the out. I guess we better get on with this. So, Polynesian Heritage Night here at the ballpark. And now we have a budding sports legend, also sister of another softball legend, in Tiare Jennings. How cool is it to be here on a night like this?
So cool. This is our first baseball game. You know, it's always a good time with our team here. Definitely a cool experience. The field is amazing. The fans are pretty cool, and everything about it has just been really fun.
And we know you're no stranger to SoCal. Spent a couple years at UC San Diego, but now you're in the starting lineup at Arizona. I know it took, the better part of a month during the season to find your way into that starting lineup spot. What was going through your mind when you finally scratched your way across and made an impact for the Wildcats?
Yeah, I think just when I got my opportunity just to take it for sure, just watching it along through the season, just where does the team need me mindset. And then once I got the opportunity, I took it and ran, and I did the way I did, and I was so proud of myself for doing that and just happy to be there for the team whatever way they needed me.
And now, American Samoa softball, how do you take the skills you're learning in the college game and apply that to these international contests?
Yeah, I'm definitely thankful for all the prep and things that college ball is giving me, but just learning so much in the national, just playing these girls playing Chinese Taipei and the way their ball moves and the spin is so different. So just definitely taking what I know and my IQ in college and applying that here.
And what's the biggest change there, too? Because college softball in America, you might go from these early season non-conference games against opponents who don't exactly match your team's high skill level to then, the future Women's College World Series matchups. How do you adapt when you're changing to these constantly high-level international games?
Yeah, for sure. I just think just definitely learning from your teammates, the older girls. Kylie Kuiko has been just instrumental for me, just learning from her, asking her how she's changing her swing with these pitchers who are spinning the ball the way they are, and just, taking that and then applying that.
Now, your sister, Tiare, Texas Volts, you're looking towards post-college career eventually. Do you have a team in the AUSL that you're looking at and going, yeah, that's where I want to be?
I'm not totally sure about Pro League. I think I'm just focused on just Arizona and, with the fifth-year thing now, so you don't even know what's going to happen with that.
Oh, yeah.
Just kind of being present where I am.
So I do have a couple questions about the AUSL because, pro game is a far way off. But what have you noticed when watching your sister play that you can take and add to your game?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, a lot. Obviously, TR is one of the best that there is. You can learn everything from them, but I love the energy that they bring, the stability. They're just so consistent, especially it's so hard with the pitchers that they're facing. They're facing Rachel Garcia, Megan Farimo, all those girls. So just like adapting the way they are and being successful with it.
And we talked about this for a moment before we hopped on air, but I'm a Utah Talents fan.
Yes.
Lisa Fernandez, head coach,
Yep.
UCLA legend. Here's a big drive from Easton Jones. He sends that one out to deep right center field. That ball is gone. First professional home run. We bring up Utah softball and the BYU Utah native homers for the first time. Easton Jones with a big drive to make it 1-0 Long Beach, 2 away in the bottom of the second inning. How about that? First pro home run for him.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
What was it like for you when you knocked the ball out of the park in college for the first time?
It was so much fun. I don't know if you've ever been to Rita, but you have to go. The fans there are insane. Just doing that, it was so much fun, honestly.
And do you come across a lot of other women who you played with growing up now that you're moving further and further ahead in the game?
For sure. I think the thing that's so special about American Samoa is how we didn't know each other, but we knew of each other just growing up in our community and everything. A lot of the girls I'm playing with knew my sister and played with my sister, so I didn't get to play with them. But now that I'm on the team, we're playing together. We're having so much fun, just rekindling all those memories and everything, and it's been so much fun.
And remind me, the most recent international tournament for you was when?
Canada. We just finished maybe a week and a half ago.
That's right, beginning of July up in
Yes.
British Columbia.
Yeah.
So with that in the very recent rear view mirror, what are your favorite memories of that experience?
That's a good one. I mean, it was my first time out of the country, so that was cool for sure. And then just the team chemistry. The American Samoan people is just a very proud, very boisterous people. They're very funny, and so our bus rides were hilarious. Music was going at all times. Just the camaraderie and just being that built for our first time being together was pretty cool.
And now you're seeing a lot of that culture shown around Blair Field today.
Yep, exactly.
What's been your favorite part of this evening?
I think just seeing everyone show up for this being my first game, I didn't know what to expect, and so now seeing everyone here and for it to be Pacific Heritage Night, it's just been pretty cool.
Yeah, and here's Dylan Lena at the plate, Long Beach native. He swings and misses, so that does it here for the bottom of the second inning. But you come up here, you get to watch a huge home run,
Yep.
first of a professional career. What are you going to do to enjoy the rest of the game now?
My family's here, so just going to hang out with them, enjoy the game, maybe get some ballpark food, and yeah.
I just tried Spam Masubi for the
It's
for
so
the
good.
first time.
It's my favorite.
I don't think I'll ever stop. I had one, then I had to go have
Yeah.
two. Might
It's
make
an
my way back
addiction.
down later
Yeah,
in the game.
for sure.
So I'll let you go try some more of that. Go spend some time with your family and go focus on what's ahead in your fantastic college career. Thank you so much, Taylor.
Thank you for having me.
Rolling back to it, a pitch into the top of the third inning. Big thanks to Taylor Jennings for joining us in the press box. Budding softball legend at the University of Arizona on the American Samoa softball team. 0-1 count for Cam Buford, fouling off the first pitch from Cole Percival. 1-0 Coast. The Long Beach right-hander fires and misses high and away for a 1-1 count to Buford, a fellow righty. Jesse Cook with you next to Joey Miller. And how cool was that? Having Taylor Jennings, sister of pro softball player Tiare Jennings, in the booth, fresh off of a trip to British Columbia for international softball play. The next pitch misses downstairs, 2-1 count.
I mean, you truly never know who's going to step foot in this booth. We've had some really fantastic people of all different backgrounds. We had on Cambodian Heritage Night somebody who taught us about Cambodian barbecue, and now we're having some softball future legends.
2-1 called a strike, so it's a 2-2 count for Cam Buford. And people in this area were privileged to watch Lisa Fernandez at UCLA. And I've gotten to enjoy her team, the Utah Talons, champions. 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Cole Percival has his third strikeout of the game to open up the top of the third inning. We are still playing the Cook Quiz, and we're wondering, of the 32 teams to have done what the Boston Red Sox are trying to do at the moment, win 16 consecutive games in a season, how many and who won the World Series in that same campaign? We mentioned the 2002 Oakland Athletics, part of what made me think of this question, not just Long Beach's and Boston's winning streak. Connor Smith at the dish, righty pitches to righty. He watches as the changeup lands for a strike high and inside, 0-1 count. The Coast trying to match their season-best 12-game winning streak today, having won 8 at home in a row, and, of course, the last 11. 0-1 misses up high for a 1-0 count. Long Beach ended the first half on a 4-game winning run against Yuba Sutter, then 3 in Modesto, and has been home the entirety of the second half, winning the first 7 contests here at Blair Field. Percival, tan glove at the belt, turns on home. Swinging a dribbler in front of the mound. Percival fields it, takes his time to first. He throws it away. There goes the perfect game. Smith bowls over Cuba Bess on his way to first and is helped back to his feet. Cole Percival committing an error, sailing that ball. Well, the third inning is a little too early to be on perfect game alert, but he retired the first 7 batters in order. It was on our mind.
And quickly, too. 14 pitches in the first, 9 in the second, and he was already working towards what could have been a potentially quick inning. It's still not out of the possibility right now. You have some of the best middle infielders on this roster.
Brendan O'Sullivan taking a turn at the plate here. Long Beach twice this season has flipped 5 double plays in a game. Percival takes a heavy breath, turns home. Fastball called a strike off the belt inside, but challenged by O'Sullivan, who now has both palms open to the home plate umpire, Scott Ginger, the crew chief, and it appears that he may not have wanted that challenge. So that pitch is confirmed a strike. Now that is peculiar. O'Sullivan is saying he didn't challenge. He put his hand up, which he is saying to adjust his helmet. But Oakland has been charged a challenge. So it is an 0-1 count for O'Sullivan regardless. Oakland only has 1 challenge remaining. The next pitch misses high and outside. So, Joey, who are you thinking about besides the O2 Athletics?
Well, it wasn't 16 wins, but I'm thinking of another win streak. They didn't win the World Series that year, thanks to your team, the 2007 Rockies, 11-game win streak down the stretch for October.
1-1 falls for a strike on the slider.
I'm sure the Yankees, you throw the Yankees in there, they've had a few World Series and a few winning streaks out there, so that's probably a safe
I will
guess.
tell you that at least 2 Yankees teams are in the mix, but we need the years.
Oh, I don't know if you're going to get that out of me.
1-2. O'Sullivan swings, drags that one to third. Dylan Lena bobbles it, decides on first, skips it there. Cuba Bess tries to pick, but that's out of his glove, and that is an error at third on Lena trying to pick that ball. I believe they're giving him 2 errors for the throw as well. So Oakland has benefited after Long Beach went without any gaffes in the field yesterday from 3 errors across 2 batters. And here comes manager Troy Percival to chat with his son. So one of those errors is actually on Cuba Bess for trying to pick a bad throw from Lena. I think that might be.
It was in his glove, I would say. That is something that popped right out of his glove. We can look over that and talk.
Regardless, there are 2 errors on 1 play, either 2 for Dylan Lena or 1 for Lena, 1 for Bess. But Oakland, as a result, has runners on first and second with 1 out. In the top of the third inning, 1-0 Coast, thanks to Easton Jones' first professional home run. Jaden Kalura batting on the left side. Percival settles in, looks at second, turns on home. Misses up high and away, 1-0 count. So can you give me a guess on who those Yankees teams might have been? And by the way, the Boston Red Sox are no longer in pursuit of 16 consecutive wins, losing the back half of the doubleheader against Baltimore today in Boston. 1-0. Fastball for a strike. 1-1 count. I will tell you that all of these answers occurred prior to what I would call the modern era of modern baseball. So prior to 1967, I think the year the Cardinals won that World Series with Bob Gibson really is the start of modern baseball. 1-1, chopped over to first. Cuba Bess has it, throws to second for one. The turn to first is just too late. And Oakland has men on the corners. 1-0 Coast, top of the third, 2 away. Tyler Young at short trying to make that swift throw across the body in time with Cole Percival covering. And when you have a 6'5" pitcher covering first base, that does give the defense a little extra leeway. The ball gets there maybe a half second sooner when you're reaching that much further. Isai Santos bats on the left side in a tall, straight-up stance. Percival from the stretch. He swings and fouls it off. So, Joey, how many teams do you think won at least 16 consecutive games, then won the World Series?
I'm going to say it's in the ballpark of like 5 to 10, maybe a little more.
Well, it's lower than that. Would you care to take a guess at the 3 teams who have done it?
Well, the Yankees, I would say we've already established.
Oh, one fouled off to the left side. Yes, the Yankees have done it twice. Who is the other team in that mix of 3?
I guess I could throw in Dodgers.
Do you have any years for these teams?
Maybe like 1947. Did they win it in 47?
The Yankees did.
Okay. 55?
Believe that's a Giants World Series.
Yes.
Next pitch swing, but it's too high, and third base umpire Joe Shield says he held up. So your 3 teams are, with 16 straight, the 1909 Honus Wagner Pittsburgh Pirates, then the 1953 New York Yankees at 18, and you got one of these. 1947 New York Yankees won 19 in a row, then won the World Series with Jackie Robinson. 1-2, dribble to first, right at Cuba Bess, who hops, steps, and skips onto the base for out number 3. Oakland benefits from a few errors in the field, 3, but cannot bring anyone across the plate. It is still 1-0 Long Beach, heading to the bottom of the third on the Home Team Network. Rolling back to Blair Field with a 1-0 Long Beach lead. The Coast heading back to the bats here in the bottom of the third inning. That won a home run, the first professional dinger from Easton Jones. The BYU product debuted on Sunday, fresh off the plane within half an hour of arriving at the ballpark. Now David Whittle leads off on the right side against the lefty Reed Butts. And Whittle, a couple weeks ago, made a big splash in his first professional plate appearance. He takes a strike on the fastball low and inside, 0-1 count. So Easton Jones, it took him 2 starts, 3 games played to get that first dinger. David Whittle hit a grand slam in his first professional plate appearance. Out of the stretch, he swings, screwballs that one to second right at Nick Leahy, who picks it on a hop, throws to first in time for out number 1. So Whittle retired. That brings up the 9-hitter Tyler Young. Pennsylvania native Young on the season, batting just 172, but hitting coach Troy Gloss told us that's mainly a product of a lack of opportunity. That's a big problem when you have too many good players, is that the other good ones fall out of practice and lose their timing. So Young is trying to work that back. Lefty pitches to righty. The first one from Butts is a curveball for a strike, low and away. Young settles in again at the front of the right-handed batter's box. High leg kick. He swings, cracks that one to short, but right at Brendan O'Sullivan, who crow hops to first for out number 2. Still 1-0 Long Beach. 2 away, bottom of the third. Base is empty for the top of the order, and Eddie Pelk. Now, this is a guy who gets on base. Long Beach has only recorded one base runner in this game. It's the Easton Jones home run. But Eddie Pelk has made it aboard in all 55 prior Long Beach Coast games.
I like the Chris Collinsworth coming out there. Now here's a guy who gets on base.
He does. First pitch in the lefty-lefty affair, misses low and outside for ball 1. Eddie Pelk, much like the theme of the 2002 Oakland Athletics, who we mentioned during the Cook quiz concerning winning streaks, he gets on base. Next pitch, swung up the middle and through. Eddie Pelk delivers. He gets on base and singles to right field. It's bobbled out there by Jaden Kalura, but the utility man picks up the ball in time to hold Pelk to just a stumble past first. 1 on, 2 away, 1-0 LBC in the bottom of the third inning. Kalura, the utility man, played catcher yesterday, moves out to right field today. Well, that is the first baseball to make it his way in this ball game, and he's still breaking in the fielder's glove. Patrick Roche, someone who knows a lot about moving around this season. Over the past week, he's played all of second, short, and third. Out of the stretch, Butts' first pitch, a curveball, dances to the Sox inside for ball 1. Roche, who spent 2025 in the MLB Draft League, a product of Boston College, now settles in an open stance on the right side. Next pitch, inside and low. He has been a tough nut to crack for any pitcher over the last, week. Yesterday, 1 for 3, making him 6 for his last 12. He bends over the plate on the right side. Butts takes a heavy breath, tilts down and deals, and misses, sailing the ball into the lefty batter's box. 3-0 count as catcher Connor Smith was sent diving for that one. Roche, we talked about his utility nature defensively. He's appeared at all 3 of those infield positions 42 times, now 43. The next pitch, a fastball at the knees for a strike. 6 starts at shortstop. This is his 7th at second base and 30 at the hot corner. 1 on. Eddie Pelk on first. 2 away, bottom of the third, 1-0 Long Beach. Butts flips on home and misses with the breaker downstairs. He puts out both palms to home plate umpire, the crew chief, Scott Ginger, asking where that missed, but decides to keep the appeal in check. Oakland already has lost a challenge in this game, and it was sort of a peculiar one in the top half of this inning. Shortstop Brendan O'Sullivan put his hand up, which he said was to adjust his helmet, but home plate umpire Scott Ginger signaled a challenge up to the box, and then O'Sullivan never really argued. Men on first and second for the team leader in home runs, Cuba Best. Lefty pitches to lefty. First pitch fastball for a strike. Best has knocked 7 long balls in the month of July, making 17 total on the year. 3 against Oakland over the past week and a half. He swings at the next one and fires it foul to the left side. 0-2 count.
And 1 against this very pitcher, Reed Butts, the last time they faced off. That was a 2-home run day for Cuba Best that he got 1 off of today's starter.
That's right. That was Thursday. Today, the following Wednesday. Cuba Best has just been in a groove. Butts looks at first. Now turns home to the GCU product. Next pitch, fouled off, corkscrewing to the backstop. 0-2 count for the Colorado native. Butts, who played a year in Colorado Springs with the Rocky Mountain Vibes, back in 2023. Begun his Pioneer League career there before heading off to Oakland for the next couple seasons. And this one, the 0-2 laser down the left field line, but foul off the front of the left field. Steve Traxel visiting bullpen. 0-2 count for Bess. Runners on first and second, 2 out, bottom of the third. 1-0 Long Beach thanks to the Easton Jones home run in the bottom of the second, his first professional long ball. Butts drops down low, curveball sails high and inside. 1-2 count to Bess. $80 degrees at first pitch, a light breeze rolling out towards left field, and now shadows encompassing the vast majority of the diamond, only leaving center field uncovered. Out of the stretch, Bess swings, flares it the opposite way to left field, but right at Tristan Moore, and the rookie outfielder trots in to make the catch. 1-0 Long Beach remains the score, stranding a couple base runners here in the bottom of the third. We move on to the top of the fourth, 3-4-5. Jeter Ibarra, Tristan Moore, and Jake Allgaier due up for Oakland when we return with Joey Miller on the mic for the next 3 innings on the Home Team Network.
Into the middle 3 innings we go. It's 1-0 Long Beach Coast. Joey Miller, Jesse Cook here bringing you the action for this middle game of the series. The third of 4 3-game series in the inaugural second half homestand. I know that was kind of a wordy way of just saying we're here at Blair Field. The first pitch misses for ball 1 to Jeter Ibarra. From Cole Percival, still on the mound. This one poked through the right side and in for a base hit, the first hit of the day for the Oakland Ballers. Percival allowed a couple of base runners on, not the safe way, a couple of errors last inning and a fielder's choice, but he had a no-hitter technically through 3 innings. And now that is over. Jeter Ibarra, who has been a menace, that is his 26th hit over the Long Beach Coast in now 69 at-bats against the newest Southern California Pioneer League franchise. Now the first pitch to Tristan Moore, a new player in said Pioneer League. Takes the first pitch low for ball 1. He made his professional debut yesterday, going 0 for 3 with a strikeout and a walk. He's 0 for 1 tonight. A lot of new faces in this series, from Tristan Moore to Easton Jones, who just got his first professional hit a couple of innings ago. That put the Long Beach Coast on the board. First professional hit was a home run. 2-0 count to Tristan Moore as the next pitch misses. And David Whittle, the fellow UC Riverside Highlander alum, walks Percival back to the top of the mound there. David Whittle, he's 6 feet tall, about a 5-inch difference to his battery mate, Cole Percival. But, you know, just looking at it from our angle, Percival stands very tall on the mound. He's got good posture. I'll give him that.
I mean, at 6'5", yeah.
You gotta. Maybe I don't have as good a posture as he does, and I'm just an inch shorter. Gets a called strike on Tristan Moore, who now can lift the bat off his shoulders if he sees the next pitch that he likes. Runner at first. And a 1-0 game for the Long Beach Coast here in the top of the fourth. 2-1. Dots outside on the fastball. Now a hitter's count for Tristan Moore. He popped out in foul territory his last time up on the first pitch. Now having yet to take the bat off of his shoulders in the first 4 pitches of this at-bat, he's fallen ahead. Here's the 3-1. Now he does take a hack at this one. Fouled off to the third base side, and Percival's right back in this. Percival faced off against the Ballers in the middle game of last week's 3-0 sweep over the Oakland Ballers. Got his first win in a Coast uniform. 1-0 is his record. Steps off the mound. He's got a routine of whenever time is called, he steps back behind the mound, takes a piece of the rosin bag, and gets right back on the mound like nothing ever happened. Very mechanical way of thinking for this former affiliate pitcher. 3-2 changeup that Tristan Moore was out ahead of, but gets a piece of it. Looking for something faster there. Lucky that ticked off the end of his bat. Once again, Percival going for the rosin bag. Another full count, nobody out here. Runner at first. Here's that 3-2, fouled off. Just off the handle of Tristan Moore. Tristan Moore out of Point Loma Nazarene, the Division II. 63 games played in the 2026 campaign, the collegiate campaign. A .376 batting average, getting a chance at the professional level. There goes Ibarra towards second. It won't matter as the next pitch misses for ball 4. On the 8th pitch of the at-bat, 2 straight safe base runners out of the hands of Cole Percival, a runner in scoring position who represents the tying run in this ball game, now the trail runner that represents the go-ahead. Jake Allgaier now to the plate, the lefty, or the switch hitting lefty, I should say. 1 for 3 yesterday with a hit by pitch. He's no stranger to the free base himself, particularly against the Long Beach Coast. Sends one right back up the middle towards Emilio Corona in center field. He makes the grab and quickly gets it back into the infield for out number 1. But to my point there, 19 walks, 2 hit by pitches against just the Coast alone. But he's now 0 for 2 tonight. Nick Leahy to the plate.
Well, Cole Percival is not someone who you should expect to walk a lot of batters. Before his start last week, he hadn't handed out any free passes on the season.
Has one tonight. Settles in now from the stretch. The high leg kick and the first pitch to Nick Leahy. Torn on and missed on that slider there. He's been working with a lot of sliders and changeups today, I've noticed. That changeup early on was really working for him. The cause of now 3 strikeouts on the day. The 0-1 is not going to be delivered right now. After Percival steps off the mound to look back, Jeter Ibarra to second. Middle infield working up the middle. Here's the 0-1. It's fouled off to the first base side. Now an 0-2 count on Leahy. 1 for 4 yesterday with a strikeout. Already a strikeout tonight. The only backwards K of this ball game for the Oakland Ballers offense. Oakland Ballers having yet to score in today's contest after getting shut out last night, 7-0. Here's the 0-2. It's in the dirt. Whittle scoops it out for a 1-2 count. Right now, the Oakland Ballers, specifically against the Long Beach Coast, now 3 prior scoreless innings, have not scored in an inning against the Long Beach Coast in 6 consecutive frames. But they're threatening right now with a runner at second. There's a swing and a miss. Cole Percival gets out number 2, the way of the K, his 4th on the day. Leahy took a while to start his strut back to the dugout. Here's Cam Buford now. It's the first time we're seeing him in the second half this series. He missed the last series. First pitch misses outside. He did pinch hit last night. But he was on the day-to-day last week, so he did not make the trip. The right-handed hitter is now 6 for 30 against Long Beach. A strikeout tonight. This one torn on into right center. Emilio Corona calls off Jones for out number 3. That leaves 2 stranded. Back-to-back innings where the Oakland Ballers have left a runner stranded in scoring position. It's still 1-0 heading into the bottom of the 4th. We'll be right back on the Coast Media Network. Bottom of the 4th. The Long Beach Coast going to get some more at-bats to try and provide some more run support for Cole Percival, who has kept a bunch of zeros on the board for the Long Beach Coast defense. 1-0 Coast. Emilio Corona, who recorded the last out to punch across that 4th scoreless inning. Just in the top half of this inning, takes the first pitch outside from the starter, Reed Butts. The center fielder is 0 for 1. Grounded out right back to Butts the last time he faced him. Next pitch right back up the middle and through for a base hit. Nick Leahy was working up the middle on the second baseman. Just gets right past his glove. That rocket at 105 off his bat gets him aboard for a base hit, his first on the day, and his first against Reed Butts. In 2 prior at-bats, he finally gets something off of the left-hander from Oakland. Just like Eddie Pelk in the last inning, sending one right back up the middle to try and start something, this time with no outs rather than 2. Jacob Jablonski is the next one up and takes a breaking ball low for ball 1. Reed Butts, his fastball is not as fast as you would think, but it has led him to success in multiple years in this very league. There's a swing and a miss for strike 1. Both of these guys, Jacob Jablonski and Reed Butts, they've been in this league for at least 3 years. Jablonski, who entered in the 2024 campaign with the Idaho Falls Chuckers his rookie season, sends this one on the ground to the third baseman Allgaier. Gets it around the horn to start a double play. That finishes all the way around. Jeter Ibarra making the stretch there to nab Jablonski, and that clears up the base paths. What started off with a leadoff single from Emilio Corona is now gunned down to bases empty and 2 outs. Easton Jones is the last batter that Butts could face to face the minimum here in the 4th inning. He did not have success. Reed Butts did not have success against this rookie the last time he faced him. There's called strike 1. On a 1-0 count, Easton Jones in his 4th official at-bat at the professional level got his first hit. Sent it over the right field wall, and I was over to the right of me currently while you had a special guest on. 1-1 count. And I was talking with our friend Miles here, Miles Thompson. There is a called strike, a 1-2 count, 2 outs here. And I was saying, I hope that one of the pitchers in the bullpen quickly hop the fence into the park, because to have your first professional hit ball is one thing. To have it be a home run, you got to grab that as soon as possible. Now a 2-2 count. However, knowing a lot of these guys in the bullpen, they like to be a little bit of a jokester. It's a jokester crew. You know, the bullpen, it's a fun time out there. Maybe they just grab a different baseball out of the bucket and
Don't tell them.
Scribble all over it and say, hey, look what we did to your first professional hit. This one fouled into home plate. I hope they're not that cruel.
Or maybe if they can't find the home run ball, they just grab a random one and just say, all right, nobody tell them.
Yeah, but then, I don't know. I would feel the guilt, you know, of just not having that be your first home. You know, to have that first home run is something that's really special. There are no bleachers in the outfield here to retrieve it from. There's just a park in right field. 2-2 again. Swing and a miss upstairs on the fastball. That ends the inning. Reed Butts faces the minimum. No score in the 4th, just like the 3rd. Still 1-0 Long Beach Coast on top. Into the 5th we go on the Coast Media Network. Fifth inning of baseball, a tight 1-0 lead for the Long Beach Coast. Still not getting anything off of Reed Butts, the Oakland starter, who has now worked 4 frames, and 3 of them have been scoreless. The first pitch to Connor Smith, foul tipped into the glove of David Whittle for strike 1. Joey Miller, Jesse Cook, thanks for tuning in on this lovely Wednesday evening. 4 more games to go after this to finish out this homestand, the final one of July. There's another pitch that's called for a strike. An 0-2 count is how Connor Smith starts things. After this series, this homestand rather. Check swing upstairs on the fastball, doesn't go around, says Brandon Hastings at first. They will head out west for the very first time in their inaugural season, out into the Rocky Mountain regions. Or rather,
East.
They're calling it the mountain regions. Obviously, no teams in Colorado anymore. Jesse and I were with those teams last year. This one in the air down the right field line. Cuba Bess watches it into the VIP area. Still a 1-2 count. But they're heading out to Ogden, Utah. And then to start August, they're going to head to Glacier up in Kalispell, Montana. So they'll hit the road for a couple weeks. It's their longest road trip since the very first of the season. The last of which they spent 2 series out at Raimondi Park. One of the 2 series that they dropped this year. The only one they've dropped to Oakland. That was the first time they met up, that very first week of the season in May. A 2-2 count now as the next pitch curves outside. And what a journey it's been for really both teams. Check swing foul. That's 6 pitches in, still a 2-2 count. You know, the Coast started hot, and I feel like they've only gotten hotter. Troy Percival has built upon the early success that he had in the season, found certain flaws, has tweaked a few things. The coaching staff has aided that process. Check swing, referred down to Brandon Hastings. He goes around, and there is strikeout number 5 on the evening for Cole Percival. Out number 1 here in the top of the 5th. Brendan O'Sullivan to the plate. Troy Gloss, this is his first year on a coaching staff at the professional level.
By the way, for Cole Percival, that's now a personal best this season, 5 Ks.
And now he can have at it with Brendan O'Sullivan, who reached on an error by Dylan Lena. This one sent right back up the middle for the second hit of the game for the Ballers. Brendan O'Sullivan, this is his 7th game played against the Long Beach Coast. Now in 6 of them, he has had a hit. Had a couple last night. He went 2 for 4. Now he is aboard with 1 out off the first pitch, a fastball that he just drove the way of the pitch, high in the zone and over the heart of the plate. Jaden Kalura, the top of the lineup. The 3rd time around we go here in the top of the 5th. Kalura is 0 for 2. Reached on a fielder's choice. Takes the first pitch on a curveball just on the outside part of the zone. Clips the corner for strike 1. Kalura this series 0 for 6 now after going 0 for 4 last night. Percival, the quick stretch and delivery to the plate in there for strike 2. Jaden Kalura, in 15 games prior to this one against Long Beach, he's had a hit in 11 of them. But in the past 2 full contests, he has not recorded a hit against the Long Beach Coast. 0-2. Fouled off, third base side into the kid zone. Sends a souvenir out there for one of our wonderful fans here at Blair Field. We just saw in between innings a unique game for the promotion that we have tonight, Pacific Islanders night. 0-2, misses high. A 1-2 count. We saw a Spam Musubi eating contest where they had a couple of competitors going at it head-to-head to try and down 3 Spam Musubis. And if you don't know what a Spam Musubi, it's really 3 main ingredients, but a little bit more than that, more than meets the eye. Next pitch taken outside. It's a 2-2 count. It is a square or rectangle of rice, a little bit stickier than most. You got to season that rice. It's crammed into a block of some sort, wrapped in seaweed with a piece of fried Spam. Traditional to Hawaii. This one popped up over home plate. And we both tried it just before the game. Jesse, that was your first time trying Spam Musubi?
Yeah, and it was the first of 2 times because I went back for more.
Yeah, as did I. I was a little hungry, I'll admit, but I think it's just the perfect fill-me-up where it's not going to weigh you down. This one tagged down the left field line, again into the Steve Traxel bullpen this time, still a 2-2 count. But, you know, I feel like a lot of people are squeamish about canned ham, Spam being the classic canned ham. But when you fry it, you get that certain glaze on there. It just makes it a transformative experience, especially when you contrast it with the rice and the saltiness of the seaweed. Everything just works so perfectly in that nice little treat. And they sold out, I believe, maybe even before first pitch. They were already running low by the time we got down there. Just about 30 minutes before the beach ball pregame show. There goes the runner on the hit and run. That's fouled into the foot of Jaden Kalura. That is 5 foul balls. Still a 2-2 count. 9 pitches into this at-bat. Brendan O'Sullivan was off on that pitch. 1 out here in the top of the 5th. 1-0 Long Beach. Scott Ginger, the crew chief, behind home plate tonight. Sweeps off home plate to clear it up. Cole Percival collects at the belt. Waits for a moment. Now here's the 2-2. This one hard line drive into center field. Corona adjusts himself, but doesn't move very far to make the out. 10 pitches. And Cole Percival ends up winning that battle. Now 2 outs and still that runner at first. Isai Santos, another lefty of this very front-loaded lefty lineup. This is something that is kind of traditional with Aaron Miles with a righty on the mound in the past couple of nights. The first 4 batters have batted from the left side against the righty. A 1-0 count is how things start off, and that's pretty similar on the back end of the Coast lineup, which is 6 straight righties, 1 a switch hitter that bats from the right side against the lefty Butts. This one hard line drive into right field. It falls on a 1-hopper in front of Jones, gets it into the infield quickly. And that is another single, the first on the night for Isai Santos, the second of this inning. Runners at first and second now for Jeter Ibarra, who broke up the no-hitter in the top of the 4th. Not seeing anything popping out of the Coast dugout. Troy Percival, the manager, is going to try and let his son finish this frame as he's trying to allow his son to stretch himself a little further into these contests. We saw him start off from the bullpen, and then he moved over past couple of outings to becoming a starter. His last appearance went a season-high 5 innings here with the Long Beach Coast. Now in his 5th inning, he could tie that with just 1 more out.
Jeter Ibarra, the first pitch to him, misses in the dirt for ball 1. 1 for 2 this afternoon. Single into right center his last time up. His 5th hit here at Blair in 16 at-bats. David Whittle is walking Percival back to the mound. Just a pick-me-up conversation, I'd imagine, as he's already done such a great job getting on top of counts. Here he doesn't, though. A 1-0 count. 14 pitches in the first inning, 9 in the second. Things started to fall a little out of sorts in the third once base runners finally reached. Percival gets comfortable on the mound. Looks back at second, now delivers the 1-0. Takes a called strike 1 on the changeup there. 1-1 count. Tristan Moore in the on-deck circle. Should this inning continue. Percival slowly comes set. And now the 1-1. Swing and a miss. Looking for the fastball there. Went at him with another changeup. And now Percival's back ahead of the count, 1-2. Past 2 innings, Cole Percival has left 2 runners stranded, one of which, as to be expected, in scoring position. A narrow 1-0 lead for the Long Beach Coast. Here's the 1-2. This one hard hit on the ground. Cuba Bess picks it up out of the dirt and steps on first to retire the side, leaving once again 2 stranded and keeping zeros up on the board. That's 5 scoreless out of the hands of Cole Percival, matching what Jack Martin did last night in his start that started off this series. Still 1-0 heading into the bottom of the 5th. We'll be right back on the Coast Media Network. Bottom of the 5th now, 1-0 still. The Long Beach Coast scored their only run, and the only run of this ball game, back in the bottom of the 2nd. Off of the rookie Easton Jones, his first professional hit was a home run, a solo shot to right center. And since then, they've left 1 in scoring position in the bottom of the 3rd. Reed Butts, the starter, faced the minimum in the 4th after clearing up the base paths on a double play. Now Dylan Lena leads things off and takes ball 1. A strikeout against Reed Butts, who in his last start and his only other prior start this season for the Oakland Ballers, back at Blair Field last week, went only 3 innings. Hard hit into left center, tattooed towards the warning track, but Moore ranges over and makes the grab for out number 1. It was a loud sound off the bat, maybe not as fast as we had initially expected. David Whittle out to the plate. Moreno Valley native. He's been behind the plate catching pitches from Cole Percival, who's put up 5 donuts on the board. It's now 25 straight innings for the Long Beach Coast pitching staff to have not allowed a run to any opponent. The first pitch misses for ball 1 high. Next pitch misses again for a 2-0 count. David Whittle, last series against Oakland, only 1 for 2, but that one was a go-ahead RBI, and that was against, I believe, a different pitcher. That might have been Hunter Day. Next pitch misses again for a 3-0 count. Yes, Hunter Day. It's the last time he got a hit. There's a called strike 1 on the 3-0 count. But David Whittle only has 2 professional hits where we stand right now, but both of them have been productive. Right now, he has had 14 at-bats. This one down the third base line, and a long throw to make for Allgaier gets him in time. Fantastic play. Threw it from the outside part of the foul line. A Gold Glove effort there for Jake Allgaier. Gets out number 2. Now Tyler Young to the dish. Very similar to David Whittle. Not many hits, but more recently than not, he's had some success. All things considered. There's a called strike. He's 0 for 1 today, but last Friday, he had his first hit in 10 at-bats on July 17th against the Yuba Sutter Freebirds. 0-1, swung on and missed off the changeup there. That was off the table, an 0-2 count. The last hit that Tyler Young had prior to that was exactly a month prior to his Friday night hit. That was on June 17th. Good things come in 17s. That's not a catchphrase, but we'll make it one. An 0-2 count, nobody on, 2 outs. Bottom of the 5th, Reed Butts waits on it. There's a swing and a miss. His 4th strikeout finishes out the 5th. Nobody has scored since that bottom of the 2nd. We're into the 6th, 1-0 Coast on this low-scoring affair. We'll be right back on the Coast Media Network. Into the 6th we go, and up until this point, through the first 5 innings, there had been no changes, neither on the mound nor defensively. The first change comes defensively. Dylan Lena now out of the game. Easton Jones moves from right field to third. Now Robert Pitts into the ball game in right field. He'll take over for that lineup spot that Dylan Lena had. Tristan Moore takes the first pitch for strike one. Dylan Lena finishes out his day 0 for 2 with a strikeout. There's a swing and a miss. Behind on that pitch, Percival. If he gets one out in this inning, it'll be his longest in a Coast uniform. His third start in said uniform under his father/manager, Troy Percival. This one's slashed to the right side, rather left side. 0-2 count. We're starting to get into this classic part of the night where things start to cool off. It was a hot 81 degrees and sunny at first pitch. Since then, the breeze has started to come in. Next pitch misses in the coal mine. A 1-2 count, where you start to see this lovely gradient that is typical of a Southern California summer night. It makes these Blair Field summer nights oh so lovely. The 1-2. Knuckled off the handle into shallow left field, and Jones makes the grab on an awkward turn, falling down to the earth in the process. Good play there by the rookie.
Well, how about that? Showing off the versatility. He starts the game with his first professional start in right field. He's asked to turn back to the infield and immediately makes a very difficult play, looking over his shoulder for that baseball the entire time and twisting himself into a pretzel, landing to make the catch, turning around at the last second.
He had a drop step going a certain way, and then that ball, as it fell down towards the outfield grass, quickly went the other way, and he went with the way of it. Unfortunately, it was not glove side, so he had to force it across his body to make that grab. Jake Allgaier takes the first pitch for ball one now. He's 0 for 2. A couple of flyouts to the outfield. Next pitch misses outside for ball 2. Allgaier swung at the first pitch last time he faced off against Cole Percival. Sent one right out to the center fielder, Emilio Corona. 2-0 count, high leg kick. There's a swing and a miss. 2-1 count now. Cole Percival, when there's runners on, he has a certain motion that, while it may look like he is working from the stretch right now with his leg lift, facing third base to start. 2-1, swing and a miss, evens up the count at 2 apiece on that breaking ball, low. The difference between his full and his stretch momentum towards the plate is just in that leg lift. When there's nobody on, he gets a little bit more vertical on his front leg, his left leg. When there's base runners on, it's a little bit less noticeable, more towards the plate, as you would expect in a snappier stretch motion. Here's the high leg kick this time, 2-2 towards the right side. A diving stop by Roche. Gets a throw off. It's not in time, but still a fantastic effort from Roche to prevent that one from getting into center field. It's an infield hit for Jake Allgaier. The way he had to throw that baseball was kind of front-facing. An awkward throw, but an accurate one at that Cuba Bess had him there. But it was not in time for Jake Allgaier, who was charging up the line. Now Nick Leahy has a runner at first. First pitch misses below the knees for ball 1. Cole Percival started off his third start with the Coast, not allowing a base runner on, technically through the first 3 innings. In the third inning, there were base runners via an error, a couple of errors. There's a swing and a miss and a fielder's choice. But the first one that reached safely was in the 4th. Since then, he has had a base runner in scoring position, but he has left 2 stranded in the past 3 innings of work. 5 scoreless innings to start today. 1 out, already his longest appearance in a Long Beach Coast uniform. but still a lot of work to do. 1-1. Hits for strike 2 to Nick Leahy, the infielder. Leahy takes a moment, steps outside of the right-handed batter's box. Takes a deep breath, staring down the barrel of his bat, which he chokes up on. Now steps back into the chalk confine. Cole Percival standing tall. Here's the quick leg lift on the 1-2 stretch. Misses outside on the slider. Back-to-back 2-2 counts. Cole Percival, one of only a few on this roster to have been born in the 1990s, a 99 kid. This one fouled into home plate, and it gets a piece of David Whittle. Scott Ginger is going to allow his catcher that stands in front of him, or crouches in front of him, to catch his breath for a moment while he delivers a new baseball to Cole Percival. For such a low-scoring game, it has been really interesting to see how close both of these teams have gotten getting runners in scoring position these past couple of innings.
Well, it's been mostly Oakland doing the heavy lifting in that category. Long Beach has had just one runner make it to scoring position besides the home run. Oakland has done it in 3 straight.
And that was also 2 innings ago. This one softly hit up the middle, flipped over to the second baseman, Roche, then on to first. Kick starting a 6-4-3 twin killing, an inning-ending double play. Percival faces the minimum. That is 6 scoreless frames, 1-0, heading into the bottom of the 6th. We'll be right back on the Coast Media Network. This is a pitcher's duel as we send it to the bottom of the 6th. Top of the lineup, Eddie Pelk. It's the 3rd time through the Long Beach lineup, or the start of the 3rd time. Joey Miller, Jesse Cook, 1-0 Long Beach Coast. Hanging on by a thread right now. Eddie Pelk tried to start off something. He was the last coaster in scoring position. That was back in the 3rd, where he got a base hit into right center. Reached second on the subsequent walk from Patrick Roche, who's in the on-deck circle. Eddie Pelk starts things off here against the starter Reed Butts with a ball 1. 1-0. Hits right at the letters. Pelk, not a fan of that call, but he's going to accept it. Long Beach 1 for 2 with challenges tonight, just like Oakland. Here's the Butts 1-1 in the air towards center field. Santos initially can't see it, but finds it for out number 1. Patrick Roche now to the plate. He is the only walk that Butts has issued this entire game. We talked about it earlier, how Butts had 5 walks in 3 innings the last time we saw him here at Blair Field.
Well, he and Cole Percival have done nothing but attack. Seems that both pitching coaches have gotten in their heads and told them that your defense is there for a reason. Let them hit the ball.
Patrick Roche. It'll be a lefty on righty matchup. He takes it for strike 1. And, you know, for Troy Percival, he has not really mixed things up too much in the first 3 of the lineup. For Aaron Miles, we've seen a bit of a different look just about every game. Traditionally, you still see Isai Santos in the top 3, as he is tonight. Next pitch misses low for ball 1. But he front loads with a bunch of lefties against the righty. 5 straight. Kalura and Santos traditionally in those first 2 roles. We usually see Tremaine Cobb as well, but he's on the IL. There's a foul ball to the third base side, a 1-2 count. But for the Coast, it's been a bit more unique. Patrick Roche has found some comfort as of late in this homestand in the number 2 spot, as he has been on a bit of a heater. Coming into this game, 12 for 21 in the homestand. Tonight, though, he's 0 for 1 with a walk. 1-2 now. This one up the middle, a slow roller. Brendan O'Sullivan gets it to first in time for out number 2.
To that point, Joey, Roche is finding consistency at the plate. This is his 17th time batting in the 2 spot. But with the exception of Eddie Pelk, Troy Percival has shuffled around his batting order a lot. So it has been hard for these guys to find consistent timing in the order, but they're still finding their way aboard.
And traditionally we see Cuba Besh either anywhere from the 3 or the 4th or the 5th spot of the lineup. Tonight he's in the 3rd. Takes the first pitch for ball 1. I remember at the beginning of this season, Emilio Corona was at the top of the lineup. He was the very first home run in Long Beach Coast history. The very first at bat. Next pitch misses outside. A 2-0 count. They're on that fastball with some movement. Reed Butts, we've seen his velo start to kick up a little bit as we reach into the later innings of this contest. This one hard on the ground. The ant killer picked up by Leahy. Gets it to first in time for out number 3. Well, scoreless through the middle 3 frames, and nobody has put up a run in the past 4 complete innings. Still 1-0 as we send it to the 7th. 3 more to go. And it's going to be a new pitcher on the mound that Jesse Cook will tell you about and lead you through the rest of this ball game when we come back on the Coast Media Network.
Binary baseball takes us back to Blair Field. 1-0 Long Beach with a lot of other zeros on the board. Long Beach scoring in the second on an Easton Jones home run, his first professional hit. Stephen Ordorica coming in to replace the starter Cole Percival. The righty fires to the fellow righty Cam Buford, who lasers it to third, where Easton Jones makes the catch. Just talking about his home run, there he shows off the leather as well. He made a spectacular twisting catch in the last frame. Here, top of the seventh, one away, bases empty. The submarine pitcher, Stephen Ordorica, relieving Cole Percival after he allows just 4 hits across his 6 innings of work in his third start. First pitch to Connor Smith, a slider that lands low and away for ball 1. Ordorica has enjoyed a solid stretch of late as he dips into another swing and a miss. Also chasing a slider, this time high and away. The La Puente native has allowed earned runs in just 1 of his last 5 appearances. He kicks low. Tries again on the high outside pitch. This time is sinker, and that's a ball. 2-1 count. 1 away, bases empty, top 7, 1-0 LBC. Ordorica faces down. Winds in that sweeper once again, this time for a 2-2 count as that hits down the middle. Here he goes, missing high and away. We mentioned the last 5 appearances for Ordorica. 2 of those were against Oakland. The most recent one on Thursday, he allowed 2 runs on 2 hits in just a third of an inning. But before that, scoreless appearance. The next one fouled off to the right side to keep it a full count. Ordorica then earned the save on Sunday with an inning and 2/3 against Yuba Sutter, during which time he allowed 0 hits. Here he goes again. Slider called strike 3. Middle and down. Connor Smith raises an objection to home plate umpire Scott Ginger, but he elects to avoid chancing the challenge. So Ordorica has his first strikeout of the afternoon. That is his first strikeout since July 12th against Modesto. That was in the last game of the first half of the season. Ordorica acting as the back door in the pennant clinching game. Brennan O'Sullivan at the plate. First pitch in the righty-righty affair. He pops it up over the back netting. 0-1 count. And O'Sullivan has not been kept off the bases yet, reaching on an error at third in the 3rd inning and then singling up the middle last time up in the 5th. Ordorica closed off on the mound, fires. Inside out swing. Fastball fouled over the right side stands. 0-2 the count. 2 away, bases empty, top of the 7th inning. Long Beach leading 1-0. The Coast entering off of back-to-back shutout wins. Now the 0-2 misses high and outside. Including a couple scoreless innings at the end of Saturday's game. This is now 26 2/3 straight scoreless innings. 1-2. Swung on, chopped out towards third. Easton Jones charging, and it's underneath his glove, trying to make the transfer for an infield hit. That brings up the top of the order in Jaden Kalura. And realistically, if we are going to go back to Saturday, it's actually 27 innings flat since Long Beach last allowed a run, because that last tally came around with 2 away in the 7th inning against Yuba Sutter. Manager Troy Percival is out there talking with Stephen Ordorica. There is movement for the door in the right field Jared Weaver bullpen. We're waiting to see if anybody hops out. Percival is looking off that way, but only now sees someone trotting onto the field. A left-hander, Jackson Bird, making his way up the foul line. So we'll introduce the two-way player when we return after a quick break on the Home Team Network. Back at it with 2 away in the top of the 7th inning at Blair Field. 1-0 Long Beach with a new pitcher in the game. Jackson Bird replacing the submarine right-hander Steven Orderica. The lefty's first batter stands at the top of the order for Oakland and right-handed hitting Jaden Kalura. However, Noah Blythe pinch hits for Kalura. So if Long Beach can make a substitution, so can Oakland. Bees manager Aaron Miles doing exactly what LBC's Troy Percival did. Bird kicks up high and misses up high on a hanging 12-6 curveball. Noah Blythe making his second appearance of this series. Yesterday, the right fielder opting for an 0-for-4 line. Bird saddles up. Lowest ERA on the team. He drops the next pitch downstairs for a strike. Jackson Bird working with a 2.08 clip. This is the left-hander's 9th appearance, all of them out of the pen. Although it's his 9th as a pitcher, he has hit as well. His 1-1, another 12-6 curve, this time downstairs.
We've seen an inning of Jackson Bird that was dominated by those 12-6 curveballs, where he struck out the side.
All of them looking as well, all 3 of those strikeouts. His 2-1, swung on and dribbled foul to the on-deck circle, where it's barehanded by the man waiting on deck for Oakland, who will also be a pinch hitter should he come up, Miles Beal. The switch hitter from Michigan waiting on deck. Bird readies, tan glove at his eyes, whirls, swing and a miss. The curveball claims another victim. 1-0 Long Beach, your score as we move on to stretch time at Blair Field on the Home Team Network. After stretch time at Blair Field, it's still 1-0 Long Beach. Bottom of the 7th on the way. Heart of the order due up for the Coast. And Emilio Corona, Jacob Jablonski, and the difference maker in this game, Easton Jones, the rookie. His first hit, landing for a home run in right field, the only run of the ball game. It was off the starter, Reed Butts, who heads out there for his 7th inning of work. Lefty versus righty, he winds home. First pitch curveball at 78 miles per hour, lands for a strike, lone away. And how about this resurgence for Reed Butts? He started the year with the Sioux City Explorers after 2 years with Oakland, leaving the Ballers, 0-1, bounces inside and low for a 1-1 count. He had finished up 3 years of Pioneer League eligibility, starting his career in 2023 with the Rocky Mountain Vibes. But at the first opportunity that he was available, Oakland tagged him as the franchise player. 1-1 that misses high and outside, 2-1 count. However, his debut did not go as planned. Butts ended up throwing on Thursday, allowing 4 runs on 5 hits with 5 walks in just 3 innings to this Coast team. Now he sets again. Corona swings, lifts it deep to right field straight away. Jaden Kalura feeling for the fence. He looks up, he reaches, colliding with the wall, and he has it. Jaden Kalura busting through the door to the bullpen makes the catch. It took a while for him to regain consciousness after bashing into the fence, but he holds up a triumphant black glove, muddied up only by that pearl in the center. Emilio Corona, who has tripled already in this series and homered last week, sent that ball as far as you can go without leaving the yard, and Jaden Kalura makes sure he stays put inside the ballpark.
What an incredible effort there by that right fielder. Not to mention, to get up after that collision and to make people know that I have the baseball.
Well, he resets out there in right field while Jacob Jablonski battles in on the right side, the switch hitter. First pitch, he watches a curveball in the dirt for a 1-0 count. And Jablonski has spent some time in the outfield, but in the infield, he's made similarly spectacular catches. Thinking back to Sunday when he made that leaping grab at second, but he fell onto soft grass. Jaden Kalura goes crashing into the fence out there. 1-0. Jablonski swings, rockets that one into the right center field gap. He takes a big curve around first. Isai Santos has it in center and swiftly flies it back to the infield to hold Jablonski in check on first base. Well, Oakland stands in the way of the Coast's 12th consecutive win, which would tie a season high. But the Ballers are not making it easy. 1-0 Long Beach, runner on first, 1 away, bottom 7. Oakland manager Aaron Miles headed out there to make a change. Reed Butts in his get-back game stuns, allowing just 1 run, and he does so on 4 hits. New pitcher entering for Oakland. We'll update you on who that is when we return in just a moment with more Coast Baseball on the Home Team Network. Taking it back to Blair Field with a difference maker at the plate. It's 1-0 Long Beach with 1 away in the bottom of the 7th inning and a runner on first for Easton Jones, whose first professional hit sailed over the right field wall back in the 2nd inning. New pitcher for Oakland, the righty Valek Cisneros fires, and Jones pelts that one to the back netting, foul. 0-1 count. Cisneros replaces Reed Butts, the left-hander, tossing 6 1/3 innings, allowing just the 1 run on the Jones homer on 4 hits, striking out a quartet as well. Cisneros rears back. Jones watches the slider sweep in for a strike. 0-2 count. Jones made his debut with Long Beach on Sunday, but earlier in that last week, Cisneros appeared against the Coast twice back here at Blair Field. No runs allowed in 3 1/3 innings across 2 outings. He throws to first, and Jacob Jablonski dives back in head first. This inning began with Reed Butt still on the mound. Emilio Corona sent a high fly ball to right field that Jaden Kalura went full send for, bashing through the wall, through a doorway in right field to make the catch. Out of the stretch, Jones bends with it, fouling it to the right side. Jacob Jablonski followed up that circus act with a single straight away. That's where we are now. Runner on first, 1 away, bottom 7, 1-0 Long Beach. Still an 0-2 count in the righty-righty matchup. Easton Jones, who flew in from Orem, Utah on Sunday. BYU product. Next pitch. Checks his swing on the slider in the dirt, and home plate umpire, the crew chief Scott Ginger, says yes, he did. So that is a strikeout for Valek Cisneros to open up his Wednesday night. 2 away, bottom 7, runner on first. Robert Pitts taking a turn at the dish here. Dylan Lena occupied this lineup spot earlier, going 0 for 2, but Pitts replaces him for some defensive insurance. He made his professional debut yesterday. Righty-righty affair once again. Cisneros crouches. This one swung on, bounced over the mound, behind at short. It's Owen Sullivan, Brennan O'Sullivan. It's behind him into center. There goes Jablonski for third. He is safe, and there is the first professional hit for Robert Pitts. Bouncing that one on a high chop over the mound and crossing up the shortstop O'Sullivan, who would not have had time to make the play regardless. Men on the corners for David Whittle. However, here comes manager Troy Percival out to home plate, likely making a substitution. And it appears that it will not be David Whittle. I believe that is Cooper Vest. Instead, walking up to the plate, the left-handed bat, who has appeared in every game this season. Vest making his 5th relief appearance, starting 51 games.
Vest cannot get an off day, but I'm sure he loves it. He is just ready to go every single time, even in a pinch hitting role, coming off the bench.
Well, here he is, batting .323 on the season. Vest yesterday piled on a 2-hit ball game, finishing 2 for 4 with a couple singles, a couple runs scored as well. David Whittle had not left the infield before that. He's 0 for 2. And Cooper Vest will not swing the bat. He has intentionally walked to load the bases. It's 1-0 Long Beach. There are 2 away in the bottom of the 7th inning, and the 9-hitter Tyler Young due up. But Anthony Mata, making his return from injury, is subbed in his place. Now, Anthony Mata, despite the fact that he's missed the last 5 games, he is a tough bat. .324 batting average, 45 hits this season, 26 RBIs. He comes up having ended the last Oakland series 2 for 8. Out of the stretch, he watches a curveball for a strike. Bases loaded. 1-0 Long Beach. Bottom of the 7th inning, 2 away. Anthony Mata, who hurt himself pulling a muscle in the last series with Oakland, sits out the entirety of the Yuba Sutter series, sits out last night, makes his return here in a crucial spot with a chance to give his team insurance. 0-1, the curveball called a strike, low and away. Pushes Mata down to his last strike here. Jacob Jablonski on third. With one out, he singled his way aboard. Then with two outs, Robert Pitts bounced his way on base. Cooper Vest intentionally walked. He's on first. 0-2. Mata swings, laces it to center field. Chasing in Santos. He trots in and makes the catch. Still 1-0 Long Beach. Stranding the bases loaded with their best opportunity since the Easton Jones home run in the second frame. We move on to the 8th inning. Long Beach protecting its tightrope lead, but Jackson Bird back on the bump on the Home Team Network. Top of the 8th inning on the way at Blair Field with a 1-0 Long Beach lead. The Coast trying for their third consecutive shutout. Jackson Bird entrusted as the man to continue that effort. The lefty facing a fellow southpaw in Isai Santos. The LBC two-way player takes a heavy breath and whirls on home, dropping in the curveball for a called strike at the belt, but Santos challenges. Oakland only has one challenge remaining. If they get this one wrong, then they're out. But Santos is correct on the ABS strike zone challenge. That is a ball. So Oakland successful on that appeal, makes it a 1-0 count to lead off the top of the 8th. Bird sways a couple times on the mound, shrugs once again, kicks high. 12-6 curve, this time off the plate in the other direction. First pitch was too high. That one's down by the shoelaces for a 2-0 count. Bird, one of 6 UC Riverside alumni on this team. He winds, lands for a strike at the thighs on the fastball. Cole Percival, who started this game among that group. David Whittle behind the plate as well. Robert Pitts in right field. Then Anthony Mata at short. Jackson Bird on the mound. Matthew O'Brien, the only one feeling left out. The left-handed pitcher started on Sunday, so he earns the rest. 2-1. Another breaking ball, and this one bends in for a strike, low and away. 2-2 count. Of course, Troy Percival, once upon a time, was the pitching coach there. The Highlanders to Coast Pipeline. Long Beach has only had a baseball team for just over half a season, and already there is a lineage alive and well. 2-2 count to lead off the top of the 8th. Bird, another heavy breath, whips, misses downstairs. That one escaping through the wickets behind David Whittle to the backstop for a full count. Bird entered this ballgame with 2 out in the 7th inning and a runner on, and struck out the only man he saw, the pinch hitter Noah Blythe. Lefty-lefty affair, first batter here in the penultimate frame. The payoff pitch, downstairs on the curve. That is just the second walk issued by this Long Beach pitching staff in this game, and this has been the best stretch of control for Coast pitchers of the season. Entering today, there had been just 9 walks sent away by the Coast pitching staff over the last 4 games. That's the best momentum that this team has accrued on the season. 7 walks over the last 3 games. It's the 4th time that's happened. That's the best 3-game stretch mark. Lefty-lefty affair. First pitch to Jeter Ibarra in the dirt. Runner goes for second. Throw to the back on the delayed steal. Tag applied just in time. Isai Santos starting late on his steal. Jumping up the gun after that and making it with a head-first dive. Swimming to dodge out of the way of the tag to make his way into scoring position. 1